Selamat datang ke ASM Podcast yang dibawakan khas oleh Akademi Sains Malaysia. Siri podcast ini merupakan platform perkongsian topik-topik berkaitan sains, teknologi, inovasi dan ekonomi STIE secara santai dan mudah difahami. Setiap episod akan menampilkan jaringan pakar ASM yang akan berkongsi pengalaman dan pendapat mereka tentang STIE seiring dengan etos ASM. Budayakan sains, raikan teknologi, cetuskan inovasi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mazlan Osman, and welcome to the 6th episode of our ASEAN Foresight podcast. Today's episode will focus on the insights garnered from the 85th meeting of the ASEAN Committee on Science, Technology and Innovation, or COSTI, 85 in Cambodia. The meeting was held from 3rd to 6th of June 2024 in beautiful Siem Reap in Cambodia, of course. The meeting was crucial in providing the opportunity to enhance, leverage, and refine strategies for science, technology, and innovation within ASEAN member states and our dialogue partners. The agenda included exchanging ideas on future initiatives and cooperation strategies. So let me go back to explaining to you the history behind the ASEAN Foresight study. In 2019, the ASEAN Foresight Alliance, or AFA, we'll call it from now on, was created. And it was created to connect ASEAN and global with the global foresight initiatives. The Academy of Sciences Malaysia, or ASM, as I shall refer to it from now on, has produced a report on future trends in science, technology, and innovation in ASEAN. The central idea here is a necessity for ASEAN nations to collaborate in collectively addressing these trends for the mutual benefit of the entire community. ASM is also hosting podcasts and webinars to discuss building and managing the science, technology, and innovation, or STI ecosystem in general. So for your information, this podcast will be broadcast during ASEAN Day this year, which falls on 8th of August. This year, the theme is Connected and Resilient Community. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate and very honored to have two esteemed guests with us. The first is Professor Dr. Jamie Montoya. Jamie is President of the National Academy of Science and Technology of Philippines. He is an expert in infectious disease with degrees from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine and certifications from the Royal College of Physicians and the Philippine Board of Internal Medicine. He holds an MSc in bioethics and a PhD in medicine. He is professor at the University of Philippines, the Executive Director of the Philippine Council for Health Research and Development. Mr. Khairul Rizal is a Director of Measurement and Research Indicators, Technology and Innovation at Badan Riset dan Inovasi Nasional, BRIN. He serves on the AFA Board of Advisors, representing Indonesia, and I'm very, very happy to say he is the upcoming chair of the AFA Board of Advisors. Mr. Rizal is a dedicated public servant and with interests in STI management, urban and regional economic development, spatial planning, land management, and political economic issues. As director, Khairul's key responsibilities include developing and measuring indicators for STI, conducting national surveys relating to STI, and, fortunately for us, carrying out technology foresight. So, Khairul, Jamie, thank you for making the time to be with us and to online. I wish we could meet physically again. to discuss today's topic, which is about the report that we presented in Siem Reap. Now, Jamie, it was such a great pleasure to meet with you, and especially for you to hear Philippines' ideas and insights into STI issues. I was particularly grateful that you had spoken in support of the report that we had presented. So maybe just to give the audience an idea of what the COSTI meeting was about, can you share your most memorable or important experiences in that meeting, please, Jamie?
Yeah, thank you very much, Maslan. It was indeed wonderful to have met you in the Board of Advisors committee meeting during the Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation meeting of the ASEAN group in Siem Reap. In that particular meeting, I was delighted to hear that to know that you were there, because precisely you were there as the lead for the Foresight initiative in Malaysia. And as what happened during the meeting, as you probably would remember, one of the major topics for discussion was the preparation of the ASEAN Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation for the APASTI. The APASTI is actually the ASEAN Plan of Action for Science, Technology, and Innovation.
Yes.
It finished in 2025, and we're preparing and gearing for the new APASTI, ASEAN Plan of Action for Science, Technology, and Innovation from 2026 to 2035. And for that to be a very good document, it is essential that we're able to anticipate the factors, the megatrends that may influence the development of science and technology, and how innovation move forward for the next 20, 30, 50 years. So very important is to have foresight, or what others would say futures thinking, to anticipate what will happen. And in that particular meeting, it was raised, of course, the significance of such an initiative and the plan of the ASEAN Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation to get expert assistance to prepare that foresight documents that will influence the APASTI. I did raise the point that we do have already, for some of the ASEAN countries, member states, already have a foresight exercise and also foresight document. And I'm happy to say that for the Philippines, for example, we also have our foresight document. We call it Pagtanaw, which is vision in the Filipino vernacular, 2050. And we were actually inspired by the work led by the Academy Science Malaysia and their effort also to produce their own foresight document. So that was actually very much discussed, and I was happy to learn that they will in fact use the foresight experience and documents generated by the ASEAN member states, some of them, and of course the members of the ASEAN Foresight Alliance, or Alliance, ASEAN Foresight Alliance.
Alliance, yes.
ANA, in their effort to mainstream this among the ASEAN member states.
Oh, thank you, Jamie. Khairul, you were also there. What do you want to say about the meeting itself to our audience?
Well, to be honest, I was not there, Maslan. Sorry.
Sorry, Khairul, I can't hear you. Can somebody please increase the volume?
Unfortunately, I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there. Okay,
maybe
that's fine.
one of my colleagues attended meeting. Sorry.
I had the impression you were there, so I must have met another Indonesian delegate.
Yeah, probably Mr. Dudi Hidayat at the time come to the meeting. So.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, Khairul, my question to you is, so as we all know, Malaysia is hosting ASEAN 2025. And as Jamie will recall, we made a very strong proposal to launch the ASEAN STI Ecosystem Foresight report next year, during ASEAN 2025. So, Khairul, you are the upcoming chair of the board advisors for the Alliance. What is your strategic vision for advancing the AFA report during the launch?
Oh, well, I think first I really appreciate what Malaysia have done to develop this report. Of course, it's very excellent report, and I've read most of it. Yeah.
Khairul, sorry, could you speak louder, please? I can't hear you.
Yes. Can you hear
yes.
me? Oh, I need to put the mic directly.
Yes, very close to you. Yeah.
Close to my mouth. All right.
Right. Otherwise, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate the effort taken by the Malaysian Academy of Science to develop this report, and this is a very excellent report. I've read most part of it, and its content is a very insightful knowledge. Yeah, and I think the most important thing when Malaysia about to launch this report is start to make awareness campaign. I think it's important to make people at least know about this report, and if possible, make them understand about this report. I think this is very important step to enhance for the advocating this report so it can be adopted by members country states. Yeah,
Jamie, you remember in my presentation in Cambodia, I had also presented some initial steps we were taking to bring the report forward, meaning that we were already thinking of the action plan. And because I think having a report without a solid and strategic action plan will make the report, less valuable. So, Khairul, I have in mind that we will have events or meetings that will allow us to talk about this action plan before we actually launch it. So, of course, we're launching the report. That does not actually include the final action plan. But I think if we can show to the ASEAN community that we're serious about this and that we're already starting to work on the action plan, I think it adds a little bit. People will have more confidence in how we're moving forward, and it would add credibility to our report as well. And so we will be contacting you as chair of the board of advisors on how we move forward in crafting that action plan as a group. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah. So this is now about the report itself. So the most logical place to put the report is under ASEAN's economic pillar. So there are various pillars, right? So we know that it has to come under the ASEAN economic pillar. So and this is a question to both of you. How do you see that report guiding some future policies within this economic pillar? Any thoughts on this? I start with you, Jamie.
Yes. Of course, it comes from the belief, and I think this is a common belief in the Philippines and among our government leaders, that science, technology, and innovation are actually the engines for national growth.
Yes.
And national growth, of course, includes economic growth. We are all into economic growth. And there's a recognition that, in fact, science, technology, and innovation are engines for economic growth and national growth. So having said that, we do appreciate the importance of preparing for the future, what the future holds for science, technology, and innovation. And that will require an understanding of possible megatrends or technologies out there that will have a significant impact on the way we do things, about society and community life and economy in the years to come. For example, in our local foresight document, it's very clear that we are looking forward to, because the Philippines is an archipelago, so we have this document that emphasizes the archipelagic character of the Philippines, just like Indonesia. And having said that, we look at science, technology, innovation as engines for growth, and we have to anticipate and be prepared for the worst and the best scenarios as far as technology development is concerned. What technologies out there will be available? What technologies will be willing to invest on in the future? Because not all technologies are good, or maybe adapted to the Philippine environment, or even to the region as a region, ASEAN. And going up beyond the confines of the Philippines, because we look at ASEAN as a community, we are a community, and what happens in one country affects the other countries. And in fact, the economic growth is shared by countries, member states in the region. So having said that, if you have a very good foresight, we're able to anticipate the future, then not only the country, but the region can prepare for this development so that we can actually share in the fruits of technology that will bolster our economies. So that's the way we look at it.
Thank you, Jamie. Khairul, any insights from you?
Yeah, I think the report, the ASEAN Ecosystem report, STI report, I think it's over a lot of insights. Yeah, it's emphasize the importance of science, technology, and innovation in driving economic growth and productivity. So I would say that this report will be,
please keep the mic close to your mouth, please.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Like this is already close.
No, don't swallow it, please.
Of course not. Sorry. So I think this report offers a very important insights on what drive economic growth and productivity. Yeah, and I guess the people, the stakeholders under the economic pillar will accept and also take this into account in their work. Yeah. And also, this report, this ASEAN Foresight report, like Prof. Jamie mentioned, is over a mega trend and what are the challenge, and also what the consequence if we just keep quiet about the challenge. Yeah. I think what is the most emphasized by this report is about the collaboration. I agree with Prof. Jamie that what happened in one country, of course, affect the other one. Particularly, we are neighbors actually with Philippines. Yeah, we have a direct border, so cooperation is not an option. It's a must. Yeah, I would say it a must. Yeah. So this report, facilitate this idea, this concept of collaboration, that we have a shared challenge. Yeah, a shared challenge that we have to deal with it. Yeah, to respond with to the challenge collectively. That's maybe we can over that insights to the stakeholders under the economic pillars. And one more thing, the sustainable issues. Yeah, the report clearly highlighting the importance of the sustainability issues. Then I think sustainable is not about one country issue; it's actually global issue. So I think ASEAN can play a big role to maintain or to to take into account the sustainability issue in the region. I think that's my thoughts on this.
Thank you. The other question that we need to deal with is how can now the report be able to help us address particular science and technology-based challenges like climate change, or resource depletion. Will the report be able to help us deal with those issues? I ask you, Khairul, first.
Well, yes. The report provide us with a very insightful knowledge. That's the important thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have the knowledge, it drive our actions. Yeah. So what is the knowledge content in the report? Challenge. Yeah. By exploring the challenge we are going to face now and in the future, 10, 15 years ahead, we understand about what's going on. And most importantly, we do at least grab some understanding about the consequences, like I mentioned before. So based on that knowledge, well, we can address the challenge, of course. Yeah, maybe the response quite different. It's depend on the, we are ASEAN, but we, have a differences in certain area, right? It's like we have a diverse cultures, we have a different, language, different technological maturity. So the way we, of course, deal with the challenge a bit different between country to country, but at least we are going to respond that challenge together, right? But in a different way, in a different context within the countries, but at least we share the same challenge, the same goal.
Yes, yes.
Sustainability is an issue we have to address together. Yes, that's, I think, the way the reports address and help us to converge our efforts, but of course within a unique context of each country. Mazlan, back to you.
Just before I go to you, Jamie, I'd just like to add that this report has actually taken into account, one, the existing circumstances in all the countries, as much as we could gather in terms of the data. So we have a quite clear understanding of what's happening in each country. But on top of that, in coming up with the report, we have engaged all the countries directly. And, if we are going to, if in the report, it says what is the most important problem here, it is done by consensus, meaning that most countries agree aging is a very a big problem, for instance, or other things. And I think that is the true value of this report.
I agree with you.
Which I think sometimes people do not appreciate. Khairul, I think this is what we, as the chair of the Board of Advisors, and try to move this report forward, is that it's our work, it's the work done by all of us, 10 countries, well, maybe one or two did not fully participate, but the data came from everyone. And it was wonderful for me to see how each country actually, it didn't have foresight capability or capacity, it developed it. I think Philippines was a good example where, you're not very sure, you're not very, you hadn't done the foresight yet, but with this process, I think your expertise got higher and higher. And of course, Indonesia, Singapore, they all have very high foresight capability. And it is within ASEAN, and I think we should use this ASEAN skill and talent on foresight. And we should be deciding ourselves what our future should be. But then, so this is the report itself, which, as I said, I have to stress, it was done by all of us, and based on the data on all our countries, and with the inputs from all of us. So maybe I can ask you now, Jamie, so how would the report be good in addressing particular science and technology challenges in our, maybe your country?
You've already highlighted the significance of the ASEAN STI Foresight report.
Yes.
And I think the shared data, the shared knowledge, the shared vision is very important, because then we realize that as a community of 10 member states, although we are pretty diverse as far as culture is concerned, as mentioned by Khairul, I agree, but we have common problems, we have common challenges across the region. And knowing that and being able to prepare for that, we will realize how science, technology, innovation can actually help us in being prepared and addressing these future challenges. And not only that, we'll be able to share knowledge and information across the region, because we know that we share the same problem, we generated the same information through consultation. So it can immediately be appreciated by countries across the region, and we can also do and address these issues across the region by sharing information, knowledge and expertise because of this particular document and alliance. So I think that's the benefit of having a regional effort in generating this particular report. We have a shared vision, we have a shared understanding of the same problem that we also have in the region, and that will equip us better in terms of addressing these challenges through STI.
Yes, shared commitment. So seeing how important we have regarded this report, this is why we've invested so much energy and time into this report. So how do you think the recommendations from this report, there are already recommendations, and I think we will be developing more recommendations and an action plan. How do you think, or what is the way by which we have to ensure that what we have come up with be adopted for implementation through APASTI? Just I want to remind the audience that APASTI is the ASEAN Plan of Action on Science, Technology and Innovation. So how do we make sure that what we collectively have through consensus decided that action plan, what the action plan is, how are we going to ensure that APASTI appreciates this and takes those into account? Jamie, why don't I ask you, why do you answer this question first?
Yeah, as you mentioned, the APASTI it's about to finish, and we're preparing for the next APASTI.
The next cycle, yes.
Yeah, the roadmap that we follow as ASEAN members is based on our shared vision and commitment to science, technology, innovation. Now, having said that, we're preparing for the APASTI 2026 to 2035, and for us to be able to identify where we will put our energies on, where we will focus our major thrusts as a community, will really be dependent on what will be the landscape now and in the future until 2035. Technologies will be available. What are the challenges? What are the problems? We have to anticipate them. We have to predict them, because otherwise we'll be caught by surprise if we're not able to predict what will happen in the future. So based on the evidence that we've generated through the STI, the ASEAN Foresight report, it will be very helpful in making us prepared for those challenges and to identify what major thrusts we will be spending our efforts on as a community in order to address our common problems and challenges in the future.
So further, I just want to prod a little bit more. So how are we through, I know because I'm not very well-versed on the processes in ASEAN. So how do we make sure that APASTI takes into account these recommendations? Is it by us declaring it, I'm not sure what happens at COSTI, for instance, or other processes behind COSTI that will make sure APASTI, when they formulate APASTI, they take into account the recommendations from this report. How do we do that, Jamie?
Yeah, well, there are a variety of ways, but of course, it really depends on Malaysia, for example, what you think to be the best way of doing that. But I think being the chair of the ASEAN chair for next year, 2025, this can be a major thrust of your chairmanship. That's one. And how will we be able to make sure that that happens? Well, one way is actually to have something like an ASEAN declaration. It's actually a commitment of the ASEAN member states. And it usually should happen or should start happening the year before, because I have to prepare this document. And maybe some people think it's just a piece of paper, but I think it's very important. Because it basically tells people, the whole world, that the member states of ASEAN are committed to making sure that we have the capacity, the capability, and the environment to adopt the foresight that we're going to use. Because I think foresight is a very important tool. In fact, Maslan, if I can say, even the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and we all know that 2030 will be the time wherein we'll be able to see whether countries have actually met their commitments. Yes. It is very important because I was part of the committee that the independent group of scientists that made the Global Sustainable Development Report for 2023. In that particular document, it's very clear that one of the essential capabilities that have to be in place is the ability to do foresight and future thinking in countries and in all the countries of the world, in order to help them be able to meet their commitments for attaining the Sustainable Development Goals. So it only means that it's not us just talking about how important foresight is. It's the whole community of nations, the United Nations no less, telling us that it is important. In fact, it's in a document, so I don't even have to elaborate on it. It's very explained how important it is in determining how countries will fare and be able to attain the Sustainable Development Goals. And the same thing for ASEAN as a community.
Khairul, so you are, of course, the incoming or the upcoming chair of the Board of Advisors for this, and we've come up with this report. How do you think we could ensure that those recommendations would be taken into account for the next cycle of APASTI?
Let me answer that question by sharing my own experience, Maslan.
Sure, of course.
Well, it's a personal experience. I worked for the planning agency before, quite long. Spend my time.
I know.
Bapenas in Indonesia, planning agency. And when I, advocating a plan to other ministries, every time I propose an idea, a concept, things like this report, the first say the stakeholders say is no. The first meeting, the second meeting still no. So they just reject because they don't understand yet about the idea. But after 3, 4, 5 meetings, I know the process already done during the development of the report. I'm sure you tell me about the huge effort to complete this report, but don't give up. Keep swimming.
Yes.
Keep telling people about these reports. After the 3rd, 4th meeting, they start grasp the idea, the concept, and they now manage to implement it without any direction. So once people, stakeholders, grasp the idea, the underlying idea behind the reports, it's much easier. I would say it's much easier. So APASTI is just a planning document, right? It's put down every detail, steps, action that need to be done by countries, member states, right? So if they do understand the ideas, the knowledge behind the reports, I can guarantee you, not 100%, probably 95%. Every country easily, smoothly agrees on the action plans. That's right. So better to have a conversation like this a lot, yeah. So every country, member countries understand, the bureaucrat and the stakeholder, the decision makers grasp the main idea. Yeah, that's the important thing, I would say. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you've hit a good point there, which is persistence.
Persistent, that's right.
With this. And the other thing that came to my mind when you were saying that is that I did mention earlier that we will be having meetings prior to the launching, of course, led by the Board of Advisors, in coming up with follow up to what we need to do next, which is the action plan. So if in drafting or crafting that action plan, we keep in mind in front of us all the time, what can this do for APASTI? I think we would have a good chance of making sure we whatever has been recommended goes into APASTI. We cannot leave it to happen by accident. We've got to make it happen by design. And so we need to know what, because I think there is an idea now how we're going to craft up the next cycle of APASTI. So knowing that, I know there are terms of reference or whatever, but having that information, how can we now use the Foresight report to support an action plan for APASTI. But most importantly, Khairul, as you say, we have to be persistent.
Yes.
And I think all of us, we didn't get here by not being persistent. So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like just to ask as final question today, just what are your general thoughts on what would be the trends and opportunities that ASEAN should prioritize? Maybe you go according to what your country, to your country's experience. What should ASEAN prioritize to maintain our competitive edge in the world, with context to using STI? Just general thoughts on this as for your country. Jamie, can I start with you?
Yes, I think that's a very important question, because it will actually ensure that all the things we do make an impact on all of the ASEAN member states. Well, first of all, I think because we are in the Committee on Science, Technology, and Innovation, it's really management of technology across the region will be a very big issue, particularly as we move forward to the next 10 to 20 years.
Well,
although that technology is being generated by member states, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, all of the ASEAN member states, but we don't stand to benefit from them immediately because of certain hurdles. And I think one of the hurdles there is because how do they actually penetrate the ASEAN markets or our neighboring countries? Sometimes we think of the US, the West, Europe, but what about within the community, our community? It's really because there are certain hurdles, like regulatory differences from country to country requirements. But all this can be addressed by harmonizing all of our requirements, regulations, so that technologies can move from one country to another in the community, ASEAN community, without much difficulty. And that stands to benefit all of us in the ASEAN community. In fact, I'd like to mention that there's this ASEAN Technology Management Hub that has already been approved and is now starting. It's actually led by Cambodia and also by Indonesia. So we look forward to that. And these initiatives are being led by member states, but actually it's going to be benefiting other member states as well. The Philippines, for example, we're leading an ASEAN diagnostic initiative to making diagnostics available to members across the region, addressing important diseases that are common in the region. And I know that there's also the ASEAN Regional Infrastructure Program.
Yes.
And this is being led by Thailand. And we look forward also to this because it means that we have to make our environment capable of responding to the changes in science and technology. So very important for us really is really preparedness, being able to predict the future so that we'll be able to respond appropriately to these changes, not only in a per country, because we've actually considered the local context. We've contributed to the Foresight document as contributing countries, but to be able to immediately apply them because it is suited to our local environment. So we are able to contextualize all of the technologies we have, taking into consideration the local environment and the future for our country and our region. So technology management, I think, would be a very important issue.
Khairul, so you are the upcoming chairman and having to move this to ASEAN 2025. Of course, we will be supporting you. What are your thoughts on this? What are the most pressing issues in STI?
Well, I guess I in the same line and agree with the Prof. Jamie. It's about technology management issues. So it's a pressing issue and it's also an opportunity for us. As a region, ASEAN is not a continent. We are archipelago countries. Most of us have a broad ocean area. So I think the way we manage how the resource in within the STI sectors can move easily, the knowledge can share amongst the member country is very important. So creating or developing a hub like technology management hub is very important. And more broadly, if possible, we maybe start to think to create like an open science platform, open data platform, something like that. It's much, going to, advance our competitive advantage significantly, I would say. And one more, in my view, is that we have it's a comparative advantage actually, the ocean, the blue economy,
Yes.
But we can turn it into a competitive advantage if we can apply the science, technology into our oceans. We're surrounded by ocean, right? So
We
it's
are,
very important.
yes.
I think it's a very big opportunity for us if we can explore the opportunity from the ocean. That's it, Mazlan.
Thank you, both of you. I think we'll be running out of time. I wanted to say that I attended a very high-level meeting discussing what are the outcomes we are expecting for ASEAN 2025, because Malaysia is chairing. Therefore, what is it that we need to do in order to come up with good outcomes? And one of the comments from one of the participants, he said that if ASEAN moves at all, it moves terribly slowly. I think, we appreciate any intergovernmental body is very slow in terms of moving. And my own personal observation on this, looking at all the various reports that we have generated and why are there no outcomes, is because we do not collaborate enough. I mean, if we on a scale of 1 to 10, I think we're not even 5. I think in some areas in terms of commitment to collaboration. So I'm hoping that at least within the context of, the making sure our STI environment supports all our vision, the region's vision in terms of social vision, or economic vision, that we use this to good effect, and let's prove everybody wrong. Let's prove everybody wrong in the sense that we're going to move fast, and we are going to collaborate. To me, if we can prove this, that we scientists can overcome many of these things, and make something useful out of our, efforts, our investment and time in this already, that would be the most wonderful outcome, I think, that you and I, can try and put into effect. We're not ministers, we're not head of state, but maybe we can do this at our level. And so I think I'll have to stop here and wish both of you very, very big thank you for your insightful views on this foresight report that we have now generated. And have a great weekend. I think we've got a great weekend.
Thank you, Mazlan.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof. Jamie. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Khairul.
Yeah, hopefully, Prof. Jamie.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And more power to you as the chair. Thank you.
Yes.
Actually, I just joined BRIN recently.
Yes.
Yeah, only 1 year.
What I didn't say was that Philippines is willing to host the next the Alliance meeting, Khairul. But I think we'll have to talk about this at a more official level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nice weekend. Bye.
You too.
Yeah, have a nice weekend too.